afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watchman is here with your latest update on the tropics. We have quite a bit going on in the East Pacific, which is mainly what we'll be talking about today. So again, right behind me here is Invest 90E. As you can see, there's quite a bit of convection with winds about 30 knots, about 35 miles an hour, and air pressure at about 1,006 millibars. Currently, its radius maximum wind is 90 nautical miles. So that's the system that we have out there right now. There's several other systems. Now, they don't pose a threat to land, but the closer ones to the coast of Mexico will pose a bigger threat, like heavy rain, gusty winds, and definitely be dealing with some rip currents along the west coast of Mexico. So certainly this is what we'll be talking about today, going through all the models and just kind of looking at what we'll have, what we're looking at here. So there's Invest 9090, winds about 35 miles per hour. Radius maximum wind is 70 nautical miles. And then here is the other one isn't here, but we also have Invest 95W just to the south of Japan. If we go over here to the National Hurricane Center, you can see all those different areas of development there. As you can see, this one way over here, this one right here, it's gotta go parallel with the coast of Mexico. It recently got acknowledged earlier today, but it's going to be the one that's going to affect the coast the most. Definitely the west coast right here, where they could have some rip currents, they could have some gusty winds, and definitely flooding rain, flash flooding, and mudslides are going to be the biggest threat with that system. This system is going to go out to sea right here. This system right here it's going to go out to sea this way, and this one right here is also going to go out to sea that way. So this one is what has the biggest threat to the west coast of Mexico. And I'll be giving you all the latest updates every single day. So with all that being said, let's keep on going with this. Certainly, we have a lot to talk about in terms of the impacts that we could see from these systems here. Now, Invest, that storm in the West Pacific, I think it doesn't have a big chance right now. We're going to be watching it later into the week and seeing what the Joint Typhoon Warning Center says with that system in the West Pacific. But today, we're mainly going to be focusing on the East Pacific. Now, in terms of the Atlantic, I know that the Atlantic currently isn't active at all. I can actually show you there's no storms even active. The North Atlantic, there's currently no storms active. Now, I think when we get towards the middle of August, into the end of August, it's going to get active very fast, almost as if someone turned a light switch on, and everything is just going to get very, very active quickly. That is my prediction right now. That's what I think is going to happen in terms of tropical and cyclonic activity in the Atlantic. So currently, that's my prediction right now. We're going to see what happens in the future, but currently that is what I'm thinking right now. So we're going to watch this very, very closely and very, very carefully to see what's going to happen in the next month or so. So certainly that is the systems that we're talking about. We're going to go looking at satellite imagery and just kind of talk about Invest 9090. With Invest 9090, I actually have to figure out which one Invest 9090 is in relation to all these other systems. So Invest 9090 is the one closer towards Mexico, but not the one not the one in Mexico going along the coast. It hasn't been designated anything yet. So here is Invest 9090. I need to scroll down a little bit still. Perfect. So I just want to show you all these high cloud tops. This is a sign of this is convection right in that region. Look at this convection right here. Those are very, very high cloud tops. This convection is signs that the storm is organizing and signs that it's trying to get its act together and it is intensifying. Now, again, this storm isn't going to be affecting land. It's going to be the one going parallel with the coast of Mexico that we're going to be carefully watching. I'm going to pull that system up because that's the storm we're mainly going to be focused on in terms of its threats and its dangers that the dangers that it's going to come with it along the west coast of Mexico. That's going to be your biggest problem. So that's the storm I want to talk about right now because that is the one that's going to have the biggest threat. Let me get rid of this. Perfect. It's like right here. Because you have this one here, which is along the coast of Mexico. And then you have that one there. So this is the one that we're dealing with right here. So I'm going to turn off this right here. Storm tracks off. Perfect. I actually want to turn on the radar. It is on. Wow, that's just wonderful. So I kind of want y'all to show y'all that that's the system we're watching. There's a lot of heavy rain in that, and it's going to go along the parallel coast of Mexico right here. And the east side of the storm is known as the wet side, or also known as the dirty side of the storm. This side of the storm can bring the worst weather. And usually in a hurricane or a typhoon or a cyclone, the northeast side is where you have the strongest winds, and that's the ugliest part of the storm. The east side, but the northeast quadrant, these are known as quadrants. Storms are split up into 4 parts: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. The northeast is the worst, but generally the east side is always the dirtiest side. When you have a storm, it's always sheared, or usually when you have early down storms, and they're sheared, usually the east side has the most rain with it. So, certainly going to be talking about that system and its effects with Mexico. So again, flags would be the biggest threat. And again, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to go to the chat below and ask. I will certainly be answering questions. I'm going to blow up this chat so I can actually see what's going on and see what people are saying. So that's what we're dealing with this system right here. Very, very heavy rain. I'm going to see if I can find radar in Mexico. I don't know if I can actually get any radar in Mexico because, well, I don't think I can. So I'm going to click on radar and satellite, weather radar. There's like no radar. Not a bit of radar. That sucks. But again, here's the satellite. I'm going to pull up that satellite and just kind of break down what we're seeing with the system, talk about the ocean temperatures, and really just sort of talk about what are we looking at right here. So again, it's very, very disorganized. Here's the system right here. Wait for the slow, but really right here is that system. Very, very broad. There's not a tight center of circulation. That's what meteorologists are looking for right now, is when storms are organizing. We're looking for a tight, compact, and organized center of circulation. The LLC, the low-level circulation, is in line with the mid-level and the upper-level center of circulation. So therefore, when it's all lined up, we know that there is a windy wind shear and it's not being torn apart. So we do have a new fix out by the Hurricane Watch team, so I'm going to give that to y'all right now and talk. Oh, my phone's over here. That because that is certainly something. It's basically our updates. Currently, this is what we're talking with the Hurricane Watch team tropical cyclone fix as of July 30th, 2021 at 1800 UTC. Extratropical Nepartak currently has winds over 35 miles per hour, air pressure of 997 millibars. Invest 95W has a 0% chance in the next 48 hours, a 10% chance in the next 5 days. Invest 99E and Invest 90E both have a 90% chance of development in the next 48 hours and a 90% chance in the next 5 days. In the East Pacific, there's an area of investigation, which is right here. This is the AOE, known as the area of investigation. When it has an X, that is when they designate it as an... Wait, no, it is designated with an X, but it's not an invest yet. While we're looking at it, it's still an area of investigation. Anyway, it currently has a 50% chance in the next 48 hours, a 60% chance in the next 5 days. Currently, there is a tropical depression in India. Winds 30 miles per hour, air pressure 990 millibars. Certainly something we are going to be watching. Specifically, this system right here is going to continue to produce lots of heavy rain in this region. So we're going to be talking about, we talked about the East Pacific activity. Now we're going to talk about there's this tropical disturbance over India. And again, any disturbance over near any bit of land is going to produce lots of heavy rain, flash flooding. Even if it's not a depression, even if it's a tropical wave, it can produce a lot of heavy rain, like we saw with earlier tropical waves earlier in the 2021 North Atlantic hurricane season, coming through Texas, producing lots of heavy rain. So these storms can produce a lot of heavy rain, and they can be definitely dangerous. All right, so let's look at this disturbance in India. See what we have to talk about. What we're looking at right here. Where's that system at? So I do want to show this. Basically, it's a thumbnail, but I do want to show y'all. Please don't crash on me. Please don't crash on me. Oh, that could have been bad. That could have been really bad. Oh, Lord. Give me one moment, y'all. Perfect. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Perfect. Okay, back to this. So, that tropical depression is currently between India. Oh, over here. It's between India and Bangladesh. Currently right here. So, it's right in that area. Bangladesh is floods very, very easily. And it is very, very dangerous. When they get heavy rain, there are usually deaths, and it can be quite ugly. That's certainly something that I'm watching, given the fact that it's in this region. If I can't point to the right area. And then these are the remnants of, up here, this is the remnants of Ex-Nepartak, and then we have that other tropical wave, which is moving towards Japan, which is going to produce quite a lot of heavy rain and flooding. And that's going to be bad because, we got flooding. And then, yeah, there's that extratropical, which is extratropical, it's Ex-Nepartak, and then we do have this tropical wave right here, area of low pressure. And then we have Invest 99E to the far west, Invest 90E in the middle, and then that AOI, Area of Investigation, right on the coast of Mexico, right here. So there's that AOE here, there is 90E, and there is 99E right there. So that's the system, those are the systems we're looking at, and those are the systems that we're talking about right now, because 90E and 99E are not going to pose a threat at all to land. This AOE right here, right there, right off the coast of Mexico and Central America, is what is really going to produce some of the worst and heaviest rain right now in parts of the parts of Western Mexico, excuse me. So we're going to talk about that tropical depression over eastern India and Bangladesh region, and then 95W. So that tropical depression over between eastern India and western Bangladesh. I think that's Bangladesh. I don't. Yeah, Pakistan is on the west side of India. So there it is. It is actually over India right now, as you can see. I actually want to bring in satellite, or no, I'm going to go do weather radar on windy and take a look and see what we got here. See if we could actually get any radar in India right now. That is incredibly surprising. Not seeing any heavy rain in India right now, which is very hard to believe, given there's a tropical depression in the middle of eastern India right now. That is incredibly hard to almost feels like impossible to even believe. Back to satellite. So there's that tropical there's that tropical depression there. So as you can see, there it is. I'm assuming this is producing a lot of heavy rain in eastern India, and these are mountains up here, so that could cause some landslides and mudslides up there for sure. So that would be very, very dangerous as this continues to move west to India, continuing to fall apart. So this could continue to produce lots of heavy rain, flash flooding. So check your local weather forecast for any watches or warnings that the Indian government releases. And please take those seriously. Heavy rain events will be are very, very dangerous and can cause lots of life and death. Life-threatening and cause death, unfortunately. Flooding is the biggest killer in tropical disturbances, unfortunately. Now, thankfully, this isn't a typhoon or anything like that making landfall, but still, big and heavy rainmaker. Please be careful if you're in this region. Stay up to date with your local weather forecasters or the Indian Meteorological Department, and make sure you keep up with them as this tropical depression continues to make its way into India. Very huge amounts of flooding. I wanted to look at the infrared just so we have an idea. That is convection over India. Look at that. That is convection right there. Means that is a lot of heavy rain. That is a lot of flooding happening in that area, and that's just to the south of the Himalayas. Up here through Nepal, that is where Mount Everest is. The 29,000-foot mountain, one of the tallest mountains in the world, the tallest mountain in the world, lays right up here. So if it was any farther north, if it came through, I don't know where it came through. I assume it came up through here. It would cause an incredible amount of flooding, an incredible amount of damage, and the mudslides and landslides would just be catastrophic to the population in Nepal, in northern India. It'd be really dangerous. So if you're out there, please be careful. If you're living in this region, please be careful, because flooding again is the #1 killer of tropical disturbances and tropical systems and cyclones. Please be careful if you're in this region. On to Invest 90, was it 90W? 95W, okay. On to 95W. Let me see if I can actually locate it. Okay, there's China. Believe right off the coast of showing it's right here. So as you can see right in this region, this starts playing. Again, this could pose a threat depending on how far this makes it. We are also going to be looking at the models, but depending on how far this makes it, this could cause some flooding if this makes it towards Japan. So this could be another threat to Japan right in this region. If it goes in this direction, goes along this jet stream, if it pulls along this jet stream and goes right towards Japan or right in this region, it could definitely cause quite a bit of flooding and could definitely be something serious and something very dangerous to Japan, given that we are having Olympics, depending if it makes landfall central, northern, or southern, which would be east or southern west, or just the central part of Japan, could cause a lot of damage and flooding, depending on how strong it is. Now, regardless of its strength, if it still makes its way towards Japan and it makes landfall there, it would be a big flood maker, big rain maker. So you can see that jet stream right through here. So jet stream right there, I believe. So I do want to take a look at tropical tidbits, just so we have an idea of what we will be looking at with that system in making its way towards Japan, because that could certainly bring a lot of danger to that area, because again, we are having the Olympics, right? Olympics there, so. And Japan is not an incredibly populated place, but it is an island, and it isn't a huge island either. I mean, it is a little bit bigger than Korea. Alright, it's not nothing like the United States or anything. Anyway, let's get right on into this. I don't see where that tropical wave is at, unless it's right there. But they are showing more heavy rain and just rain in general, making its way towards towards the island of Japan. Certainly something I'm looking at and I'm watching. I do want to go look at the East Pacific so we have an idea of what it's showing in the East Pacific. Given that we have 3 disturbances right now, one of those has a good possibility of becoming a major hurricane. Really, that is in the realm of possibility, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. So you see that system, they both become not incredibly powerful. And then this system right here just producing generally a lot of heavy rain as it moves away from the coast. Could also become something we need to watch out for. We do need to start looking at the North Atlantic, given that once we get towards the middle of August, we could have to deal with some problems in terms of tropical weather, in terms of tropical storms, tropical depression, or hurricanes, too, because that's something that we really need to look out and watch out for, because we're getting to that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to have to start watching systems developing, and this could get ugly. So we got to watch very carefully what we see. So far, it's not showing anything, but I think the closer we get, the higher the chances are we're going to start to see something develop in the North Atlantic. I do want to look at the ECMWF just so we have an idea of what we're looking at in case anything develops. Okay, nothing develops. Okay. But right now, there's that system right here. It gets way towards Japan. It doesn't even look like it's going to develop into anything. If we go to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and look at what that system is doing in the West Pacific, have an idea. Okay, now it has a high chance. Earlier this morning, it didn't have quite a high chance. It is in a jet stream there, as you can see. So it is this system right here. I thought it was one of these systems. But it is this system right here, this entire area. Kind of reminds me of Nepartak. Had a very long, stretched out system. And it did cause, well, I can't say cause damage. I don't actually know. So there's that system. Tropical cyclone formation alert. And in the Central and Eastern Pacific, several tropical cyclone formation alerts. Here's the graphic for them. Right here, it's expected just to travel straight north and probably miss the major part of Japan. Definitely not making landfall in any part of Tokyo, which is where they're holding the Olympics at. So that's currently what it looks like. Very elongated, very stretched out. It is connected with a front, so it doesn't look very good. Here it is, if I kind of show it to y'all. Here it is, very strung out, very long, elongated, meaning that it is stretched out. Wind shear is very strong. It doesn't look like it's going to develop. There's a lot of big convection, but it's very stretched out. So I don't think it's going to develop into anything. But if it does, the Hurricane Watch team will certainly be talking about it and watching its development. Okay. Oh, you just got radar for India. Wonderful. Thank you so very much. All right. So this is, again, the Indian Meteorological Department. I forget they have a department. Okay. I want to say it would be... Oh, this is part of India, too. Okay. Good to know, 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 good to know. Seeing a lot of heavy rain. That system. Yes, okay. Maybe it's farther west. Maybe it's right here. It's very surprising to tell me that there's not a lot of heavy rain during a tropical disturbance. Precipitation accumulation. Surface rainfall intensity. Generally, it doesn't look very intense, given what I'm seeing. I mean, if this is fluctuativity, oh, I thought that was going to play. I'm trying to figure this out here. So, I mean, there is some rain. But from what I'm seeing, it isn't very intense. It isn't very heavy. I don't know what this means. There is some rain, but given what I'm seeing by radar, nothing is heavy, nothing is intense, nothing is extreme. I just don't see it. Here, I can go. And over here, this is into Bangladesh. But from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of heavy rain at all. I mean, right here. I mean, you do have cells. Okay, you do have some cells making its way through parts of northern India right there. There's a small cell but nothing widespread. Very, very small and isolated showers, which is a very good thing from what I'm seeing. Very, very good thing. So not a lot of intense flooding, but still, you still gotta be careful. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Current radar images. No, I don't want Coluda. Animation lasts 3 hours. Okay, that's not working. How do you do this again? I don't know what I'm doing again. I mean, here is relatively heavier rain right here. Wait, is that the center circulation? What is that? Hold up, where is... Wait, hold up, give me a second. That looks like the center circulation, but... I'm looking right here, but it looks like the center circulation is south of Pantana. Looks like the center circulation is right here. Now, I might be wrong. If I click on this, north, right there, but it's not that close to this border, is it? It looks like I mean, I could be looking at this entire region. That could be the center of circulation right there, and this could be the heavier rain. Now, I don't think I can get live more intense radar. More intense radar, that sounded stupid. But when I automatically click on that, it automatically takes me to Delhi. So y'all might have to tell me, is this... Let me zoom in, because I can't, it won't actually play. See, it'll just... So that's something I'm seeing. This looks like rain wrapping around the center of circulation, but I don't know if that's actually what I'm looking at. It looks like something that's what I would see, but I could be completely wrong. That might not be the center of circulation of the tropical depression. I'll have to get, I need to be verified on that. That might be an area of low level. I don't know if that's mid-level. I don't know which level of circulation that is. I freaking should know. I'm not a meteorologist, y'all. But I would need I would need this to be confirmed to know if that is the center of circulation of that system. I don't know. So I've been told that this is the center of circulation. As you can see right here, there's the center of circulation. You can see we got heavy rain south of it. I wish there was a way to put radar into motion, but if I zoom in, wait, that was a good one right there. But here, I mean, you can really see the banding. You can easily see that. You can see the banding in this system right here. You're getting this on-floor shore from. I don't think this is the Indian. I don't know if this is the Indian Ocean or if this is the Gulf. That might be the Gulf of Bangladesh. I'm not sure. I think that's the Gulf of Bangladesh. Let me just double check with that. Hurry it up. It's the Bay of Bengal. So that's the Bay of Bengal right there, and you're getting this on-floor show coming off the Bay of Bengal, and it's moving in this direction, allowing for some storms to intensify as they move into parts of India. So there's that center of circulation right there. That's where you have the lowest pressure. You have lots of heavy rain moving in that region lots of heavy rain. You're going to be dealing with lots of flooding, lots of landslides, lots of mudslides. And again, this certainly could be a big problem coming in there. So note that the system doesn't have an eye wall. Correct. The system does not have an eye wall. It's a tropical depression. It doesn't have an eye wall. And so, we're not going to be dealing with winds. This is going to be a wind event. This is not going to be a wind event. Now, if this was like a typhoon or a cyclone or a hurricane, we would be talking about an eye wall and we'd be talking about dangerous winds. But this isn't dealing with dangerous winds. This is just clearly a well-defined tropical depression inland India right now. Regardless of how it looks on radar, this is going to continue to produce heavy rain and flash flooding in eastern India and parts of western Bangladesh. So, with that being said, I'm going to figure out if I can get some, it actually formed overland. Okay. Well, then that would be the brown water effect that happened. There must be some intense flooding happening in India lately. And my best understanding would be that there is the brown water effect happening right now. Is why we're seeing that convection. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it's called, the brown water effect. Brown ocean effect. That's what it's called, brown ocean effect. Not the brown water effect. How do we get live more in-depth radar? Animations. No, it still doesn't work. 12-hour loop with the satellite. All right, 12-hour loop. 12-hour loop and satellite. So the radar must cover all the way up here, all over here, and all the way down here. Or maybe it's just this region. So look at that system. Really, it was looking very well. So I'm assuming this is the brown ocean effect. This is the reason that it got caused by this developing. So given the fact that it developed over land, look at that convection in that system, moving westward, producing lots and intense, heavy amounts of rain, flooding. It's just absolutely incredible that we're going to see in eastern India. There's that system, ladies and gentlemen. Let me actually zoom in so you have a better idea of where this system's at. Oh, too close. What do we got here? And models with weather US. So again, there's that system. Incredible amount of flooding that they're going to be seeing here. We're going to be looking at models at the website of Weather US, just so we have a better idea what this system is going to do, because just an incredible amount of flooding. What is this? I didn't mean to have caps lock on, but that's fine. Go to forecasts, auto charts. I don't know if I can get high definition radar. Or satellite, I mean. Oh, water vapor will tell us how much dry air is in the air. Because this, I would assume this would get ripped apart. Alright, actually, forecast, we're just going to go straight into models because we're going to be here for quite a while. Okay, just do GFS. Oh, God. What? Europe and oh, why'd I say Europe and Africa? Asia and Australia. Good gosh. And then change parameters. All. No, that's not what I want. I need rain. Rain is what I need. Precipitation. Accumulated precipitation. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna zoom into this region so we have a better idea of, whoa, okay, that was way too much. Here go south. Not that far south. Good lord. That's gonna bring it way down here. Okay, so there's India. That's what we're looking at. We're gonna go right into the future here. A little bit. Change the date. Oh wow, that's all. God lord. I feel like a. Yes, this is gonna go west. Okay, let's just go in 12 hours. See what we're looking at here in 12 hours. 12 hours, we're seeing quite a bit of rain. Lots of flooding for this region. Alright, that's first off. This is going to continue to move west. So I'm going to go straight to 24 hours. Straight to 24 hours. There we go. 11 inches once as the storm continues to track west. Now we're going to go straight into 36 hours. 11.3 inches. So really a lot of heavy rain near central eastern India there, where a majority of that heaviest rain is going to fall. Going straight into 48 hours now. This really shows how much rain you could be expecting. So it kind of looks like it's going to be going a general west, maybe west-southwest sort of a turn. Go 60 hours, 65, 66 hours out. 90 hours out. This continues to track west. Looks like it becomes more intense the farther west it goes. So this could certainly cause severe flooding. There's 100 hours out. Here's 110 hours out. 110 hours out. Okay, that's 100 hours though. 110 hours out. So this continues to track west, and it continues to produce quite a lot of just a heavy amount of flooding. 15 inches of rain. And then eventually, once we end the 2-week period, it is just going to be unrecognizable. Some regions seeing over 2 feet, 1.5 feet to 2 feet of rain, especially up here. Look at this. 25.9 inches of rain, ladies and gentlemen. That is 2 feet. 12 inches is a foot. 24 inches is 2 feet of rain. That's 2 feet of rain, ladies and gentlemen. These are in the mountains. Alright, those are in the mountains. So when you're dealing with heavy rain in the mountains, you have landslides, you have mudslides that come down south of this direction and flood other towns south of it. So this would be could potentially be a catastrophic flood event. And we got to watch what this system does. And this could be, again, a very bad flood event, as we're already seeing as it begins to unfold right now. Guys, this is unfortunately going to be another flood event. How many times am I going to say that? It is going to be another flood event, unfortunately. Just sad. It's incredibly sad. It's really bad. And, current radar images. Radar New Delhi. Okay. So this is West Bengal. And it just takes me straight back to New Delhi. Current radar images, New Delhi. 3 hours, New Delhi. So, an incredible, this is bad. This is flooding in its biggest way. What does this do? What does this do? If it's at that direction. So that's going to be another flood event, ladies and gentlemen. Look out. Forecast, pressure forecast for the tropical depression. Alright, so we're going to be looking at more wind forecast. Really? Wind's not going to be a big threat because this is just a tropical depression. We're just going to look at it in case it does intensify rather more because this is, we are dealing with a storm that is strengthening because of the brown ocean effect. Very, very rare to see this. But I believe this is going to become more and more common as we go through time. Alright. So, wind. Change parameters, all parameters. We're going to look at wind. That's so as you can really see, winds really won't be very strong. This is wind direction and mean wind speed, so the direction of the wind. This should, I don't know if, is this what? Miles per hour. So winds relatively weak, as you can see, 6, 12, nothing above 30 miles per hour really clearly, as y'all can see that. Alright, it's a little bit stronger up here. Really, it gets much stronger. You can kind of see, kind of want to point out the fact that you can see where that rotation is. It does seem it might get a little bit stronger. We may see up to 25 to 30 mile an hour sustained winds. You can see that rotation. It's actually hard for me to see it up here, but you can see the fact that these winds are beginning to rotate in a counterclockwise rotation. Very, very, very broad. Nothing low, nothing incredibly tight. As you can kind of see in that area, relatively broad center of circulation, as you can see. Up here, we are seeing winds of 24 to 30 miles an hour, which is a little bit stronger. But as you can kind of see, that storm does continue to move west. There's 12 miles an hour. Nevertheless, these winds are relatively weak. Nothing super duper crazy. Now this website will be very good when coming down to predict a rather stronger hurricane when you get hurricane landfalls going. So down south here, we're seeing 16, 18, maybe about 20 miles an hour. Gusts will certainly be stronger. So again, it is pretty broad again here. Pretty broad. I don't know why my thing is doing that. Let me just switch to this screen so it's not so. There we go. So 12. Again, nothing super crazy. Do you see 18? So really, wind isn't going to be a big problem, I don't think, at all. Here we need to move west. It's really hard to see. It does look like it's moving to the northwest. So I don't think this is going to be, again, an incredibly powerful system in any way, shape, or form in terms of wind. But gusts, certainly, be something I'm more worried about. But nevertheless, here's these systems here. This one. This is what I just kind of want to go over this and sort of talk about what the National Hurricane Center is saying. Again, an area low pressure located about 1,300 miles. Okay, these we don't need to talk about. This one's got a 90% in the next 48 hours. This one says, this overnight shower and thunderstorm located a few hundred miles off the coast of southern Mexico or associated with the tropical wave. Gradual development of the system is expected in the next several days. It could become a tropical depression early next week. While it moves west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles an hour, 3% chance the next 48 hours, 6% chance in the next 5 days. So this is the one that is going to be relatively closest to Mexico and could cause the most biggest threats. Really could. So really just kind of wanted to talk about this. Does anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns? I do want to make these, I don't want to have these be incredibly long, I don't want these to be incredibly long streams at all. So, got this tropical depression that we're going to be closely watching and closely monitoring. Hold up, let me just... Boom, boom, and boom. So those are the 3 tropical waves that the National Hurricane Center are watching. Also, look at models for the East Pacific. So we're also going to be looking at models for the East Pacific. Is that East Pacific? Let me make sure. The EPAC. Make this here again. So we're going to be looking at models for the East Pacific, sort of talking about what these systems here could do. Mainly watching this system right here, as it is going to go not inland, but kind of move along the coast, and then kind of move out to sea, I think, something like that. And that's something that we're watching right now, and something that will pose a threat in terms of flooding. I don't think I could ever put this into enough words. Flooding is the biggest threat. More people die from the water in hurricanes than wind. Yes, tornadoes are a threat too. Yes, there can be very strong winds. At times, now you had Hurricane Dorian, had winds of 185 miles an hour. It had storm surge. That storm surge would destroy any building. Typhoon Haiyan 2013 had a storm surge equivalent as to some people would, say it was almost like a tsunami. It came in like a tsunami at once. It was like a huge wall of water that completely just annihilated buildings in its path. It was incredibly damaging. I think water is about 200 times denser than air. So, water is definitely going to do more damage than wind. I mean, if you have a wall, think about it, if you have a wall of water coming at you at 160 miles an hour, that's going to do a lot more damage than wind blowing at 160 miles an hour. If you think about it that way. Even 30 miles an hour, it's just insane. So, East Pacific, let's take a look at the East Pacific. And then we might have to call it quits. I've been streaming for almost an hour. Damn. So. I've been streaming for 50 minutes. That's good, good, good. So you can see these storms have become better organized. To go back in the past, 72 hours ago, they've become significantly more well organized. And they're going to move away. And then there's this other area, very, very broad area of low pressure here that I'm noticing there. Something could come out of that for sure. But the GFS seems to be the most interesting with these. And then we do have another system in the next several hundred hours. According to the global forecasting system, the GFS could develop very, very strong right off the coast. So currently that's what we're looking at now. Flooding going to certainly be a big threat with this system right off the coast of Mexico. So I think I should be using Weather US for radar and stuff like that. So I'm going to go to satellite images. I don't think we can get infrared super HD. Not quite. Can we get that? Cloud tops. This needs to be free zoom. Perfecto. And then shift our way south. 1, 2, 3 storms are easily identifiable. You can easily see those storms right there, right off the coast of Mexico. 1, 2, 3. The second one's definitely the one in the middle. Definitely has a better chance of development just based on satellite imagery and what we're seeing with satellite. Look at how high those cloud tops are, how much convection is in that one. This one over here doesn't have as many cloud tops. And this one way over here is very, very broad over here. Very, very wide right here. Very, very broad. Doesn't have a tight center circulation. So I think this one in the middle could become a tropical depression either this evening or sometime early tomorrow morning. If we do, we will do a special weather update in case this tropical depression becomes named. Tropical depression becomes its name, a tropical depression. If the National Hurricane Center acknowledges it becomes a tropical depression, I will be doing a special weather update on this system right out here. Just something to talk about, honestly. It's not something really that needs to be talked about because it's going out to land. Now, certainly if this one becomes a tropical depression, we will definitely be doing a special weather update on that system because, again, it poses a threat to land. It poses a threat to people living in a country or populated area. So that is why we do these updates, to give out these warnings. Also, if you want to become a part of the Hurricane Watch team, email us at hurricanewatching@gmail.com. You can DM us on Twitter, DM us on Instagram, hurricane_watch_team. There, I believe in the thumbnail is my Discord number, and you can feel free if you want to become. We need people to be part of the Hurricane Watch team. It's only me and another person who help. The other person just sort of helps with makes thumbnails, comes up with good catchy titles, comes up with descriptions of videos, and just sort of helps along with the overall look of the channel. And myself, I literally just come up here, talk about the storm, make sure people know what they need to do, and we need other people involved in the Hurricane Watch team. We don't have many people. College starts in about a month for us, and for me, college starts in about a month for me, and I just need some people to sort of help along. It's just a lot of stress put onto me and this other person. It's just too much. So if you really want to become part of the Hurricane Watch team, it would mean the world to us. Please, if you want to, go down and email us. We'll probably get it off there. If anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, go in the chat or in the comment section. Without that being said, as always, stay safe and peace out.